Forget boardrooms. These companies are building battalions. But why? Is this a responsible measure to protect against potential threats? Or a worrying sign of growing militarization within China's private sector? Could these corporate militias be deployed for war, social unrest, or even a new pandemic? In a move reminiscent of the Cold War, major Chinese companies are raising their own private armies. From tech giants to dairy producers, these corporate forces are equipped with weapons and trained for combat. Join us as we explore these rise of corporate militias in China and its impact on the global landscape. Chinese corporate militias. Chinese companies are doing something unusual. They're creating their own volunteer armies. In the past year, at least 16 major Chinese firms, including a big dairy company, have formed these forces known as People's Armed Forces Departments. These groups consist of regular people who have their normal jobs but can be called upon help in various situations, like responding to natural disasters or assisting in wartime. They are similar to America's National Guard, which supports the military during emergencies. These corporate armies are currently only operating within China. The creation of these forces reflects China's worries about potential conflicts abroad and social unrest at home due to economic challenges. The revival is also linked to the pandemic and Chinese leader Xi Jinping's effort to increase Communist Party control, including in the business sector. The goal is to integrate economic development with national security, especially as China faces slower growth and increased global competition. Having corporate militias led by the military could help the Communist Party handle social unrest like protests or strike more effectively. China's economy grew 5.2% in 2023, slightly better than expected. But the country is dealing with various challenges, including a property downturn, rising youth unemployment, and financial stress. Protests are on the rise, with the number of labor strikes and demonstrations more than doubling from the previous year. The creation of these corporate forces is seen as part of China's strategy to address these issues and strengthen control. Beyond the corporate domain, malicious groups are commonly structured by local governments and universities in accordance with militia work regulation. Although still present in many areas, these units are now significantly smaller in scale compared to previous decades. Types of companies establishing militias. Different kinds of companies in China are forming their own militias, with most of them being state-owned enterprises, meaning they're directly owned by the government. However, in December, Yili Group, one of the world's largest dairy producers, became the first big privately owned company in China to create a People's Armed Forces Department unit. Even though Yili is not mostly controlled by the government, the local government in Hot Hot, the city where Yili is based, owns an 8.5% stake in the company. Yili didn't share details about the strength of the force or who joined, but in China, according to the military service law, male militia members should be 18 to 35 years old. There's some flexibility for people with special skills and women can also join. The unit at Yili will be managed directly by the People's Liberation Army, garrison in Inner Mongolia, where the company is located, and the regional government Communist Party Committee. The purpose of forming this unit is to create a national defense force at Yili that can be useful in peacetimes, emergencies, and during wartime, according to Wang Zhiqiang, Executive Vice Chairman of the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. This move by Yili is part of a trend where many major Chinese companies have set up their own militias over the past year. In September, Shanghai Municipal Investment Group, a government-owned property developer, formed a People's Armed Forces Department, supervised by the Shanghai garrison of the PLA, focusing on tasks like aiding demobilized veterans. Subsequently, 14 other state-owned firms including Mengniu Dairy and companies in Jiangsu, Guangdong, and Hubei established similar units. The Defense Ministry in October highlighted that creating these militias in state-owned companies aimed to strengthen national defense development. Historical context of Chinese militias. China's history with militias dates back before founding the People's Republic in 1949. Originating in the 1920s, this militia supported the Communist Party in various battles after the party took control in 1949. These units were integrated into government, schools, and companies. Militias played a crucial role during the Maoist era from 1949 to 1976, reaching their peak in the late 1950s with 220 million members. During this period when military tensions were high with the United States over Taiwan, militias served as civilian force supporting the People's Liberation Army as outlined in China's defense law. Mao Zedong historically employed militias claiming to enhance national defense, yet history argues he used them to advance personal goals, consolidate power, and suppress opposition. The militia system extended into the people's communes during Mao's Great Leap Forward, resulting in widespread famine. Following Mao's 1976 death, China shifted focus to economic growth, leading to a drastic reduction in militia membership to 8 million by 2011. While some state-owned enterprises retained militias, major private firms only recently embraced them as the private sector grew post-1978 reforms. Factors driving the resurgence. The recent resurgence of corporate militias is believed to be driven by the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and the crisis in the real estate sector, as noted by Timothy He, a senior international defense researcher at Rand Corporation. The pandemic may have motivated central leaders to establish more effective organization and forces capable of managing and coordinating responses to national emergencies such as pandemic. The extended slump in the property market leading to a widespread mortgage strike and financial sector repercussion has further contributed to the re-establishment of People's Armed Forces Department. Angry home buyers refusing to pay mortgages for unfinished apartments and the default of major shadow banks have triggered demonstration by individuals who suffered financial losses. Additionally, the revival of the People's Armed Forces Department is connected to Xi Jinping's broader effects to overhaul the Chinese military. Xi aims to modernize the People's Liberation Army and transform it into a world-class fighting force. The change aims to enhance the military's ability to carry out defense mobilization by delegating some duties to militia forces, ultimately saving PLA resources. Willie Lam, a senior fellow at Jamestown Foundation, observes a sense of deja vu, noting that the revival of Mao's key slogans like the People's Warfare and the Organic coexistence of the civilian and military sectors. Lam suggests that this reflects Beijing's desire to tighten control over society and prepare the country for potential conflict, echoing Mao's approach in the 1950s and 1960s. Impact on citizen sentiment. In the future, Xi Jinping might be getting ready for a situation where China invades Taiwan, making a large part of China more focused on the military. According to Willie Lam, he suggests that major cities could turn into areas heavily influenced by the military, like militarized zones or ports. Xi Jinping has strongly stated that Taiwan's eventual reunification with mainland China is going that will happen. According to Lam, even though China has never governed Taiwan, its ruling Communist Party sees the island as part of its territory. Lam also points out that if more and more citizens become part of these militias, their strong feelings of loyalty and support for their country will likely increase. This heightened sense of patriotism is thought to align with China's goal, especially in the context of Taiwan. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.